What up, Buckeye Nation? Excited to see everybody in the chat. Excited to be here tonight. Got a good show planned for you guys. Obviously, had some things happen today with the NCAA and Connor Stalions. Going to dive into that. Also, have an interesting video to show you guys about the culture at Michigan, what they're doing there still. Thought maybe a new leaf got turned over. We'll dive into that a little bit. But before we do that, I need y'all to please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you do not have the Spreaker app yet, download that for us. Give us a like button. Same thing on Apple Podcasts. Give Scoop a like on that. And the Scoop message board is popping. As always, go check that thing out. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Let me bring up my good friend Nevada. Nevada, what's up, brother? How are you?
Well, I was thinking today was going to be just a day about USA Hockey, and USA Hockey men's hockey team played their first game tonight and was able to enjoy that. And then all this Michigan stuff starts blowing up right before the show. That video is crazy. That video is crazy. I mean, I don't know if people are quite ready for what they're going to see just yet. But I don't want to overplay. No, I can't overplay it. It's crazy. It's it's a crazy video. And it's not AI. It's not, some, digitally altered nonsense. This is a real video of what is going on up with the Michigan football program. And it's crazy.
Well, first, Nevada, I want to set this up right in the correct way. And I want to start off by reminding people that Pete Nakos did an article. And he wrote an article where he went out and he talked to a bunch of GMs and a bunch of people about, the NIL world and what some of these players are requesting and what they're asking for. And in the article, it talked about one player in particular asking for literally, insurance for if he gets injured, asking for funds in case he starts to be up for any awards, asking for a preferred walk-on for his best friend, a rent stipend for his parents, games, tickets, and flights to games for all of his agents and family members. Just an absolutely ludicrous list of things that this recruit was asking for from other schools. And I got a little bit of intel that the school that actually met every single one of those demands was Michigan. Michigan did that. So I wanted to start off that, Nevada, just to kind of, because there's danger, I believe, when you essentially just give these recruits anything they want. Because why would a kid that age, he gets everything he wants, why would he not feel like he can just do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it? And people act like this is professional football now and says, hey, those things won't cause issues with the culture. You got people wanting Ohio State. Just go out and hey, give these recruits whatever they ask for. We got to have them. Go give it to them. So I just wanted to kind of warm people up a little bit about, this is how, this is what Michigan agreed to even get the recruit in the door in the first place. You got anything on that before I pull up this wild video?
Well, no, I think this is just, I think the context is important. I think this is what you get when you are a program that is an outlaw program, when you have a program that the rules don't apply. This is a program when there's very little adult supervision. And I guess it shouldn't surprise us, in the light of the fact that the former head coach was sleeping with his executive assistant, impregnated her, then got fired and tried to kill himself and her in a murder-suicide with a butter knife. I mean, I guess when you say all that, this video does, it kind of makes sense. But I'll set up the thing from what I understand from watching the video, and maybe Dev, you can kind of give me some rundown. What I understand from watching this video that you're all going to see is this is a group. Is it a group of Michigan football players? Did you say group?
Yeah. It's definitely a group of players that look to be Michigan football players.
Football players in the Michigan football locker room. Is that a fair estimation? It
Yeah,
appeared,
there's a Michigan helmet. There's actually some details as to which player's locker it is. There's, and if you watch this video and you can see those things, you look it up for yourself for where this is coming from. But yeah,
yeah,
about
a-
anything else,
a-
nothing.
and they appear to be hot boxing, which for those of you that don't know what hot boxing is, that would be smoking marijuana in a enclosed space to kind of accentuate the effect of the marijuana. They appear to be hot boxing inside the Michigan locker room. This is what this appears to be. Is this correct, Debbie? Is this a fair description of this video as we know
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's a fair description, as we know it for sure. And obviously, everybody can have their own opinions on this, but I do know that, right, when you are in college playing college football, that is frowned upon. That's not something that right, is looked in a positive light. I know there's been a lot of like relaxation on that particular substance that we're talking about. You know what I mean? So it's not that; it's the fact that you're in a locker room of this. Anyway, I say we just play it right and let people
Just
hear.
play the
Here we,
video and just
yeah, yeah,
let them enjoy. Here it is in all its glory.
yeah. Here you go. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Here we go.
here we go. Deb, I'm not seeing any video. Are you playing a video right now, Deb?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was on there. There's no sound to it whatsoever. It's
Did I
just the
just
sound.
did I not see it? Because I from my angle I did not see anything come up. I did
Let
not see anything
let me
come.
play it again. It's only 12 seconds. Can you see it now? Chat, can you guys see it? I'm just curious
Because I
if
I
there
can't, I don't know if this is a Nevada Buck technical image or this is a Devin.
really. Well,
Yes.
we'll see. We just played it. I just played it twice. So, you know, okay. The whole chat saw it, Nevada. So
Okay.
you saw
Good.
it in
Good.
the
Okay.
text. So you know what
Okay.
it's
Good. Okay. As long as the chat saw it, it's not important that Nevada Buck saw it, but that was the video, and I mean, I I I always try to put these things in the light of how would I feel if that was Ohio State doing stuff like that, and how would I feel if that was Ohio State football players doing that. I mean, I remember almost having it like an aneurysm when the player, I can't even remember which player it was, videotaped like the post game little snippet of the post game speech after the game,
yeah.
and that was considered to be highly, that was inappropriate, that was wrong, you shouldn't have done that, blah blah, all that. But this is kind of different level. This is kind of different level.
It literally took the chat about I saw somebody in the chat, it took about 5 seconds to find out who one of the players' lockers was. That's the first thing I saw too. We don't know exactly which players
Yeah.
they are or whatnot. And this isn't a discussion about what you think about that particular thing, but I like the way you put it, Nevada. How would I feel if this was a video that I was watching coming out of the Woody? I would just be, I would be absolutely flabbergasted um, at what I was watching. I wouldn't really have words for it. But, I'm sure some people will, be able to skate your way around and try to, that's what they always do. You know what I mean? It's never anybody else. It's always somebody else's fault, or it's not that big a deal, or everybody does it, or, it's not illegal, or this or that, or whatever. I mean, that's not the conversation we're having here. We're simply talking about the type of, this is a sport people are getting played to or paid to play. You're in college, and we know where activities like this can lead. Number one, and we know what it's not. It's not helping you be a better football player. That's what we do know. Vada, anything else on that?
No, it just yeah, like I said, the video is presented without judgment, without comment. But I can just tell you, if that was Ohio State, and again, we haven't named the players because we don't know, and we're going to refrain from doing that. But it appears that happened in the Michigan locker room, and if that happened in the Michigan locker room, that would seemingly be frowned upon. Um, what do you think, Dad? If
Yeah.
that was in the Ohio State locker room, do you think Ryan Day would have an issue? Ryan Day is big, tough love, love conquers all, love is the love monkey, all the stuff. Do you think that he would look on that in a loving way, or do you think he would be just ask them to not do that? What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably a big not gonna do it. You know what I mean? I don't even know if he stretched it as far as, I don't know Ohio State's policy on that. I don't even know if you're allowed to do it anymore. I know back in the day, if you failed a drug test for marijuana, you know what I mean? It depends who you were, but sometimes you got kicked off the team for that stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody knows my past. I'm well versed in getting kicked off a college team for smoking marijuana. Let me just tell you that real fast. So it's frowned upon. Now, how much is it frowned upon anymore? I don't know. But like you said, in the locker room, what are we doing in the
what
locker
are,
room?
what are
Like,
we doing? Like, I feel like
yeah,
that thing was like playoffs. We talk about the playoffs. It's like locker room. We're talking about the locker room. Look, the locker room.
what's going on? And
What's going
and
on? So
like,
yeah, what's going
it,
on up
it,
there? I guess, but that's a rhetorical question, though, Deb, because you know what's going on up
yeah,
there,
oh
which
yeah,
is it's the Wild West, man. It's the Wild West, and it's been an outlaw program for many many years, and this is what you get when you run an outlaw program. When you run an outlaw program, this is precisely what you get.
yeah. But Nevada, there's an aspect that we haven't talked about: the boldness to post something like this anywhere. That's kind of what I was leading towards when I said, "Hey, dude, you know what I mean? You got certain players asking for this big list of things. You give them this list. I guess it almost makes people feel untouchable. Maybe they are untouchable there, judging by what the NCAA did to them when they did something far worse. Maybe they're untouchable. Maybe this doesn't matter. Maybe they don't care about this. Maybe this is a nothing burger to them. You know what I mean? It very well could be. I mean, it could be. What do you think? Is it? What
Well,
does the Michigan fan say to this, Nevada?
the Michigan fan, they claim it's AI. They claim that those aren't Michigan players; those are child actors or something like that from Montenegro that are brought in there, or something like that, or from some Eastern European country that are doing this. Um, I mean, they'll make every excuse in the book, but I think I've said this before. I really believe that people, I think laws help people do stay on the straight and narrow. I think the reason there's order is because people fear consequences, and I think it's clear the Michigan players just don't fear consequences right now. They've been running rampant so long that they're not that this is just kind of something that they would do in post. They would post a video of them hot boxing inside the Michigan football locker room and think that that was funny or gave them street cred or somehow
Yeah.
was something that was super awesome. And
So
I, yeah,
I figured out exactly what the Michigan people are going to do. They're going to pull up pictures of Jack Sawyer smoking a cigar in the locker room after winning a national title last year. That's what they're
there
going
you
to
go.
pull up.
There you go. That
So
could
that
be.
yeah,
That
that's what it's
that
going to be.
could.
But it is right. These issues stem way back when Jim Harbaugh got hired. I watched the video the other day about right the different people that Jim Harbaugh hired and the different type of things that they done. The Matt Weiss, the Connor Stalions, the the most recent was Sharon Moore. Like there's such a variance of essentially people doing things they should not be doing, all hired by Jim Harbaugh. And it kind of brought this in. And you also see a pattern of, right, a pattern that started with Jim Harbaugh when he told his staff he does not care about recruiting rules. You know, don't care about them. Do whatever you want anyway. And you see all these different people, right, commit these things. We all know about the sign stealing investigation. We all know Connor Stalions got hit with an 8-year show cause, right? And we all know how the Michigan fan base reacted when the NCAA handed down their punishment. They reacted, well, oh, see, we didn't do anything wrong. Oh, see, Buckeye Scoop, you were wrong. Oh, see, all these things, which was completely insane. And what's crazy is The punishment should have been way worse, and yet somebody like Connor Stalions, no postseason ban. I guess he got hit pretty hard with an 8-year show cause from the NCAA, but still didn't accept it. Nevada, I didn't even realize this dude actually appealed that 8-year show cause from the NCAA. Did you know he even did that?
I had heard rumblings that that was what was happening. I didn't really give it a lot of sway. I didn't really pay much attention to it. One, because the NCAA is kind of dead to me after they fumbled the decision. Two, it seemingly felt that there was no way that he was going to escape, whatever little modicum of justice that has been handed out in this thing. But yeah, he had the audacity to appeal and was summarily denied. I mean, he thinks that he's going to be working in college again. He thinks he's going to be a college coach again, and instead of like a custodial worker at like a Trader Joe's or something like that. But I mean, I'm not sure what team would want to hire him or what the basis would be that he would how he would fit into an organization. But he thinks that he's got a career ahead of him in college football, and it's kind of sad. It is almost sad at this point, to be honest with you, because it's kind of pathetic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's one of the biggest frauds I've ever seen in college football ever. To go through all these things, right, and to understand and see what came out of this, right? You see here that he appealed all the violations and cited all 6 factors. The article says the level 1 aggravated, but he didn't elaborate and right the infractions. And he said, what they say here, we find that the record clearly support the procedures were followed in relation to the cases that originated with a confidential source. The hearing panel relied only on corroborating information when making its determinations. So he appealed that he was not able to verify the credibility of these confidential informants, and that he had the stones to appeal that they did not have enough evidence to charge him with one of his aggravated charges. The NCAA said back is like, dude, listen, it says right here, you agreed to the underlying facts of the scheme. So you got somebody that agreed to it, told the NCAA, yeah, they were right. Not only that, he destroyed his phone and threw it in the pond, and he is going to appeal to the NCAA that they didn't have enough, to go on these aggravated things. And also, got to give you a shout out, Nevada, because one of the things he appealed was that the NCAA didn't follow their procedure correctly. I don't know how many times in this timeline you said, "Hey, dude, this is why this is taking so long." That way, nobody can come back and say they didn't follow their procedure. Well, here's a case right here, denied his appeals. He's stuck with the 8-year show cause. So, to answer the title of the show's question, Connor Stalions will not be returning to college football within the next 7 to 8 years.
Well, yeah, it's just it's the audacity of the whole thing. I mean, him bragging, about throwing his phone away so I'll never be able to see it, and then complaining about the lack of evidence that they didn't have to build. I mean, just it's this circular argument that he's been making, and I think the best thing about Connor Stallions is there's been less of Connor Stallions, and he's had a lower social media uh, profile. He's now lost his appeals, and maybe he can just retire to the dustbin of history and can just be some funny side note that people talk about years from now, like a trivia question or something. But yeah, just a really, really a kind of a sick guy, and it's really more something that really deserves kind of our pity and than anything else, because he's living in an alternate reality, and it's hard to see
Yeah.
anybody do that, even if you don't like him.
Yeah. I mean, somebody put in the chat, Mark put in the chat, it's like, hey, why not appeal? He's got nothing to lose. That's the normal process of it. Yeah, I totally understand. It's not about that. It's about kind of the entitlement and the arrogance to appeal something that is so obvious, to appeal something that you admitted to appeal something that's right in front of your face. It almost just shows you that he still feels like he did nothing wrong. I'm not talking about the act of appealing. It's the mentality that he has to have behind appealing of this just goes to show you that, I mean, the type of dude that he is, in my
Yeah,
opinion, you
yeah,
know.
but Devin, I mean, it's so on brand for him because he's a guy that cannot stand to be out of the spotlight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wants all. Like this is a guy who did a documentary that made him look absolutely ridiculous. Made the school look even more guilty, shamed him, and he loved every minute of it. So for him, no, they're right. There's no potential outcome of increasing the penalty. So why not go for it? I mean, the counter argument to that is, well, you want to keep this story out of the public eye, and for him, he doesn't want to be out of the public eye. He can't stand to be out of the public eye. So this totally on brand for Connor Stallions.
Yeah. Do you think there's any part of the Michigan fan base that would have his back and say it's ridiculous that he lost these appeals? Do you think there's still that group of people that acts like they didn't have anything and that just
I
clearly
think
didn't read the investigation? But
I think that's the vast majority of Michigan fans. I mean, I mean that. I mean, I
please.
bet that's probably an 80-20 issue when it comes to Michigan fans. I think 80% of the Michigan fans still do not believe they did anything wrong. Their argument is that they were just smarter. They just found the gray area, the loophole, and did it. And this has all been a witch hunt put on by Ryan Day's brother and
Uh-oh. Nevada cutting out a little bit. Nevada, we can no longer hear you. Last thing we heard is Ryan Day's brother, and there goes Nevada. Uh, but yeah, the Michigan things just keep rolling on. And I totally agree with he doesn't want to stay out of the spotlight. Nevada, we heard you say Ryan Day's brother, and then you cut out.
I think Ryan Day's brother hacked my thing and my comms and took me off the thing. I think this is all part of that wide reaching conspiracy involving Ryan Day and you know Joey Velasquez, and I mean
Yeah,
it's like all the characters, man. That's what the Michigan fans believe, and that's I really I would love to be wrong about that. I'd love that I'm just completely that's just a comedy bit, but I really believe that. I think it's at least 80%, and maybe higher.
I know. I honestly haven't thought of it for so long that I haven't been keeping up with whether they do or don't. I do know afterwards there was a very small amount of people that said, oh yeah, we got off light. A very small amount of Michigan people that said that. The vast majority was, oh, hey, see, clearly we didn't do anything because the NCAA didn't give us a postseason ban, didn't do all these things instead of reading it out. But I was just curious if maybe some of their minds got changed, but that's an insane thing for me to think because as you know, we don't go digging for this stuff. It doesn't, it's not something that's they're doing this. These things are popping up, and nobody else is going to be reporting on these things because anybody in their beat, they're not interested in holding anybody accountable for what goes on inside that program, outside that program, all that. The only thing they care about is win a natty at all cost. That's it. Everything else, we're cool with it. About any final
Well,
thoughts?
Well, yeah, no, just it's like I called it an outlaw program. It's an outlaw program, and you can think back on some of the outlaw programs, the Oklahoma of the '70s, or the Miami Hurricanes. But the thing about those programs is they were good. They were outlaw, but they were good. Michigan sucks, and they're still outlaw, and that's the thing that's funny about them is that their suckage is so high and they're still operating outside the line. So it's like the out being the outlaw isn't working for them. So you guys may need to come up with a new shtick, guys.
No, I know. And after this year, so I listened to you and B Moses' show the other day, and you brought up that Michigan's schedule could potentially be harder than Ohio State's, and I first balked at that. I was like, no, I don't think so. But I will say this: it's a lot closer than what I thought. They got a hard schedule. Them Jokers about to lose 5 games this year, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
With
Yeah.
your favorite quarterback, Bryce Underwood. I cannot believe you think he's better than saying.
Well, I
That's just
know.
one of the most crazy
No,
things you said.
I said fatter than sane. Fatter than sane.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
bad. I
yeah.
misheard you. I
Yes.
didn't know if you wanted me
Yes.
to tell that. That was in our text thread. You talking about
Yeah.
I'd rather have Underwood
Just
this year, but you meant I
his
got
fatness. Yes,
you.
fatness.
I gotcha. All right, y'all. That is it. The Michigan charades continue going down the line. We know Justin Spiro is onto some stuff in the basketball side of things. That organization still seems to be continuing what they have been doing over the past 3 or 4 years. We'll see if they can start getting some things cleaned up. We've talked about it 100 times. If something comes in our lap this type of a way about Michigan, we're going to talk about it because things need to change. They should change, but they don't seem to be going in the good direction as fast as what I thought. Nevada, I think I asked you once already, but I just want to double check, man. Any final thoughts
Well, no,
about Michigan?
the final thoughts are the words for the day are hot box. So if you're ever Googling and you're there and you're like, hey, I wonder what's going on, hot box. They're hot boxing. So you can use that in your everyday vernacular. Like, hey, you want a hot box? Hey, is that guy hot boxing? Hey, what were they doing
Yeah.
in the Michigan locker room? They were hot boxing. So we've all learned a little something today. And I'm just glad that I can be part of this educational journey for you guys here at Buckeye Scoop.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've really stopped myself. There's been people in the chat that say I don't know what hotboxing is. I almost immediately wanted to go into like a full visual description of exactly what it
No,
is, but I've
no,
stopped myself.
don't
You
do it.
guys are welcome. You don't need to Google it, YouTube it. You'll find out what it is afterwards if you do not know what it is. But anyway, y'all, listen, we appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you for joining us. Stay tuned. 8:20 back on here interviewing Kellen Weimer, 2027 offensive lineman committed to the Buckeyes, as well as Mello joining the show again after the interview. So stick around after that. Hit the like button, subscribe button, Spreaker app, Apple Podcast, Scoop message board. You know what it is. Appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Go Buckeyes. OH.
I
I'm just kidding, guys. Over Geo, Steely. I'm very sorry. Glad I'm still sitting here ready for another show, Steely. Thanks for the $1.99, brother. The clown show up north, it most definitely is. Geo, I'm going to read these in the next show as well. Thanks for the $2, brother. Who's the clown that even posted the video? Laugh out loud. Yeah, if I could go into that, I would. I'm going to avoid that, but yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Who in the world would post this as a video? Geo, Steely, sorry about not reading those during the normal show. I got this other show on my mind, and it's a whole lot going on. I apologize, y'all. Appreciate you for sticking around and listening again. Go Bucks.